the 4-year-old child passing away, unfortunately, after what I understand to be more of a routine surgery. A call is coming through. I think I missed it the last time. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, good morning, good morning again. Crystal, before I
Yes.
forget, I just want to wish you advance birthday, happy birthday, right?
Thank
Hello,
you.
you
Thank
hear
you.
me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. Thank you very much.
So, and don't forget, after you, it's one day Robert's birthday on the 20th of October. So
I feel like I have to put that
we
in my
go,
calendar, right?
you better do that
Okay.
because that's important. And yeah, so I just want to wish you a happy birthday in advance and a happy weekend and all of that. So sorry, so sorry I won't be there to toast you with a champagne or something of the sort. But I'm celebrating you as my champagne lady, right? So um, I just hope all goes well with you and so on. As I
Thank you.
listen to you two, yeah, you're welcome. As I listen to you two, I know you have this, I know you love to say what? If you see something, say something.
Hmm.
Are you one of those persons, if you see something, you go say something, especially when it comes to criminal activity?
More than
Do you
likely.
think you have the, huh?
More than likely. But I haven't said anything because I ain't see anything yet in my life.
You are so honest. Oh,
I'm
I
serious.
love you for your honesty.
I've
I
never had
just
a
love
need
you for
to.
your honesty. Right, right. I love that. I love that. I get a message. Anyhow, you take care.
All right. Same to you. Thank you very much for that call.
Right.
No, 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 no. I so the issue with the 4-year-old boy who died, unfortunately, condolences to the family. It's very, very hard to lose a loved one. I think it's even harder to lose a child because you are also carrying around the feeling of that person never had the opportunity to really live a full life and experience the things that you wanted them to experience, and you had so many plans for them and for their lifetime. Now, Avik Gerald passed away after surgery that was supposed to fix or lengthen one of his legs that was shorter than the next. The surgery was performed by the World Pediatric Program that has performed quite a number of surgeries for Vincentian children, Vincentians, in the past. To this date, I believe they've all been successful because I've never heard of an instance where the recipient of that has died. And of course, there are quite a number of people who are always interested in the WPP because of the service that they have provided. And I want to say thank you to the WPP as well for being able to provide surgeries for people who outside of that would not have been able to access this kind of service. Now, I wanted to say concerning this that naturally anything that concerns children will be a bit more sensitive and people will become a bit more irate depending on what happens. But it's always best to before you cast judgment and you jump to conclusions to wait until the entire story develops. I think this is one of the instances for that because we know the standard of the WPP, we know the record so far, and it was very confusing to me how this ended up happening. Now, I don't know if some people's responses and feelings towards it might change now, but Searchlight actually has another story concerning it. Just going to run through it really quickly because we have to go to something else shortly. WPP has expressed shock over the death of a child who had surgery during one of their recent orthopedic missions to test nanny grains. The child lay around at the MCMH last Sunday for after having corrective surgery on it. Statement provided to Searchlight this week, the WPP said that its staff and doctors are truly saddened and shocked by the death of Sweet Avik. All right, the statement affirmed he was the recipient of ongoing pediatric care and interventions of specialist doctors and nurses. They further noted that the 4-year-old had responded extremely well to their medical interventions. He lives with his relatives in South Rivers and had a minor birth defect where his left leg was shorter than his right. As a result, he was not able to walk properly. Searchlighter understands that it had always been a vague extreme to be able to walk. All his friends at the South Rivers Early Childhood Center super hip procedure done by the WPP orthopedic team at the MCMH in Kingston, which recorded performed by the WPP on another patient on September 25th, right here. It was the first time the lengthening discrepancy procedure was being performed. An autopsy performed on the child's body on Wednesday, October 4th at the MCMH gave the cause of death as a massive upper GI bleed due to or as a consequence of acute hemorrhagic gastritis with perforation. Autopsy report also said another significant condition contributing to his death, but not related to the disease or condition causing it, was coxavara S/P. I don't know if that's to say something. Left upper hip. The child was reportedly discharged from hospital one day after the surgery and was on a course of ibuprofen to relieve his pain from the surgery while recovering at home. Of course, things went downhill and he had to be rushed to the MCMH. Now, I think we also need to give the WPP a bit of credit at this time, understanding how difficult it is for folks. But we need to give them some credit for actually making a statement. And that we're able to say what the WP has said about this. Now, oftentimes we've heard of deaths at MCMH, post-surgery, and we don't really get a response from the Milton Kitten Memorial Hospital or the Ministry of Health, generally speaking. 1 or 2 times we've had. But I think that's where we can give them a bit of credit. Now, I also wanted to say concerning this that it's very tricky. But from my experience, and in a perfect world, people would know what to look out for, especially like post-surgery or before. There's so many ailments that you're not going to know the symptoms for. You're not going to know the side effects of a lot of medication. And we take medication, or we just take it willy-nilly sometimes without even reading the possible side effects of these meds. As simple as pain medication. There are some people who, I think there are 2 different types, but there are some folks who are allergic to one and can't take the other. There are some folks who have certain diseases who cannot take one as opposed to the other. Ideally, we should know our bodies and we should know what is going on, but sometimes, most often than not, that's not the case. It is easy to say that people should have known, should be looking out for certain things. If something is unusual, you get care or resolve immediately. But when you're in that circumstance or situation, you might say, okay, this is nothing, or it's just because he had a surgery, or just because they're taking this. You don't automatically think that it can get as bad as leading to death. What I wish could have happened in this case and others even though it does not lead to death, is sitting down and really telling the patient, as doctors, I know sometimes we don't have the time to, or we may not go in depth with some of the side effects. And we as people, we as adults as well, we have responsibility to read. But like worst case scenario, is that information given to patients without having to ask for it. So they will be able to tell you, if this is happening to you, this is what you need to do. If you're coughing up blood, this is what you need to do. If there's a swelling in some area, this is what you need to do. I think sometimes that's taken for granted. I can tell you from experience too. If you don't ask certain questions, you don't get certain answers. What happens when you don't know what to ask? And a little bit of information, really, really important, can help to save somebody's life. That was a mouthful. That was a mouthful.
All I really have to say is while I'm happy that, because this is what I asked for, comment or release on the issue. I am sure that the World Pediatric Project is indeed saddened and shocked, but I was really hoping for more information regarding this subject. And I'm sure that maybe legally they can't say more, but the article ended with such that it made repeated attempts on Thursday to make contact with the permanent secretariat in the Ministry of Health in order to get a comment on the matter, but our attempts were futile. I don't think this is a time for silence. This has been in the media cycle for the entire week. We need to hear what happened and what can be done in the future to prevent something like this from happening again. We need to understand, and I'm sure the family needs more closure than we are saddened and shocked by the death. That's just my 2 cents.
Naturally. But what if it's the case where they did everything right, but because there are still chances that even though surgery was successful, no matter the age, gender, no matter the surgery, and sometimes people go in for simple surgeries, but they might have had other underlying problems that were not discovered at the time. They might have been allergic to medications, but the allergic reaction came on a later time, and by the time they got to the hospital, it was too late. I mean, sometimes these things do happen, and it's not always the fault of the healthcare provider.
Oh, it's not about placing blame, it's putting the information out there.
How long will it take for them to investigate and get the information out?
Well, say that we're currently investigating. Say something. This is not the time for silence. That's my point. We'll see. We'll see.
I want to say technically speaking, but the WPP is who answered.
Yeah. So we'll see.
But
we have to wrap it up now. Unfortunately, pay some bills, and we'll be back with tourism chit chat.
Boy, I swear you're getting crushed, Your brick's real good, boy.
Now, brick